Well, we're back together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's great to see you.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, you look lovely as always.
Thank you.
You look very fresh.
This is 2019,
Can you believe it?
Yeah, we made it.
How did you spend your holiday? What did you get up to?
Lots of family time.
Oh,
I mean, it was incredible.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
Strictly family.
How about you?
Yeah, I got sick in between.
Oh,
I
no.
think within the Christmas, prior to Christmas, and so I couldn't really enjoy it. But
you're alive.
Yeah, so that's
You
the
look
most important
well,
thing.
so-
Yeah, and then I think towards the new year, I tried to have some time with the kids and a couple of friends. So that's good. Ultimately.
You were working last week?
I was working. In fact, I was working the entire Christmas.
No, stop looking like that, because you didn't work during Christmas.
I actually, I didn't work here.
Aha.
Yes, but you know I have.
You did Galamsey.
Yes. So
So you were Galamsey.
Yes, throughout Christmas, every single day I had
Oh,
something
so you
to
did
do.
not. I thought you were.
Apart from Christmas Day that I spent with the little monster, but yeah, it was quite nice though. It was nice to see the festivities unfold around us, even though I was working.
Yeah.
So, like midnight to New Year's Day, when international media was reporting like what other people do in other countries, particularly with the fireworks, I was thinking, in Ghana, what do we do to mark New Year's? As a nation, like
prophecies. Yeah. Some people release fireworks, we release prophecies. Yeah, that's how. That's
tell
how
you that you're going to die the next year.
I know that people try to do it.
I don't look forward to the next year.
People try to do it on their own, like you have. My best New Year's, I don't know how many years ago, it's been a while, but it was at the Elmina Beach Resort where they had their own, and it was amazing.
Beautiful.
I still have that in my mind. But I feel like as a country, we should be able to do something that represents us, that marks like New Year's Day.
You know, there have been hundreds of celebrities from Hollywood in Ghana over the Christmas. And in fact, some of them, the names were kept so quiet. I've started to realize that Ghanaian showbiz reporters don't even know. Some of the big Hollywood stars. I mean, he was one of the names that came up from the very beginning. But did you know Rosario Dawson was in Ghana?
No, I didn't know that.
You see, most people don't even know who she is. She's one of the biggest, most prominent actresses in Hollywood.
So was this all part of the Tina Fests?
Well,
this is different, because there are people in town and you're wondering, what are they here for?
Not for Tina Fest. I think a lot of them were brought together by Bozoma St. John, who's one of the big execs at Uber, Global Uber, but she's Ghanaian, and Boris Kojo and his wife. So together they decided this year, because they've been to Ghana so many times and enjoyed it, they will bring their celebrity friends.
Oh.
So many of them came. Jimon Honsu. Jimon Honsu is from Benin, but he's one of the biggest actors in Hollywood right now. Big, tall, black, strong, muscular guy. He plays great roles in both drama and action movies. They were all here, and Ghanaian, showbiz reporters didn't even know who these people are. Wow, but some of them have gone.
Yeah.
We didn't get the chance.
The thing is that
we'll
pick the story from E-News.
Yes.
We're waiting for E-News to do it, and then we'll
wait
it.
for E-News to tell us who was here. But I was mentioning this because they had a wonderful New Year tradition. They all went to the beach and watched the sunrise. And before the sun rose, each of them spoke and talked about what they hope for, in the new year.
You sound like you're there.
No.
You were speaking to the sun.
So this was which beach?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
But this would be really nice.
It was lovely.
Yeah.
And I think it was the beach of a hotel, one of the perhaps Labadi Beach or one of the hotels, because you could see some sort of hotel-like infrastructure in the background. But it just looked lovely. And they took this picture with all of them standing in a row at the sunrise, and the cameraman was down. It was just...
the thing is that other people come from elsewhere to come and enjoy what we have.
And they come and show us how beautiful,
how
beautiful our country is.
We miss it. Yeah. I guess we were all following the prophecies.
Yeah. I can't believe Rosario Dawson was here. Nobody reported it. Honestly.
I think one of the things that we need to do is also perhaps maybe
can we get a
but who was hosting? Who hosted?
Let's get a picture of Rosario Dawson and put it up, okay? Just so everybody knows who we're talking about.
Are you sure we're going to get the correct picture?
Let's see. Let's see what we come up with.
Let's do the paper.
Rosario Dawson. Rosario Dawson. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we need to do is to perhaps take some time out, if we can't at all, at least twice in the year, to travel out. Maybe go visit Monkey Sanctuary or something, some resort.
As in our country here in Ghana?
Yes, to see what we have, you know.
Yeah. But you know, listen, I realize one thing, people have been saying that it's expensive. Our hotels within our country, really expensive.
Well, they are.
Especially when you want to have family time, is too expensive.
Yeah,
I mean, it's almost impossible to spend like 5 straight days.
And then eatery.
It's crazy.
But you know what?
How do we explore with the hotels that expensive?
But you know what? Kenya has a strategy. They don't want to reduce their prices. Okay, of course not. They want to make money. But what they do is they announce and advertise the cost of traveling to every attraction. If you are going with a family of 5, it'll cost you this. You will buy this for food, this, that, you can stay at these hotels, it'll cost that. And the information is readily available. If you click on that resort on their website, it'll come up with all the options of how much to spend so that you can plan for it. If you're going to go once a year, you can save for it so that no matter how expensive it is, you can still bring it into the sphere of your, your ability. And that's the idea. That's how you push your tourism sector with information. Let people know how much it costs to come to Ghana from whichever part of the world you are. Sure. How much it will cost to live in sleep in a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. You know, get that information out there so that at a click, someone can plan a trip to Ghana to come and really enjoy it. Have we got Rosario? Have we got Rosario Dawson?
See her.
That's Rosario Dawson.
I see her.
Now, do you recognize her?
Oh yeah, I do. I know her.
She's been in so many movies. She's one of the hardest working actresses.
Trying to...
She was in...
I think this picture doesn't do justice to her lips, because I think one of the things that you recognize straightforward when you see her is her...
Her lips.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was in Avatar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was in a number of movies.
Yeah.
I'll bring them all to mind. I'll tell you very soon. But she's a prolific actress.
So, you know, the other thing is, who was hosting all these people? Because I was confused at some point when I saw Fuse ODG and his guests.
I think he came for a separate thing. He planned this, there
was a conference and then there was the festival.
That's
the
right.
Kente, you know.
That's right. He planned that separately. I think that was in the new year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
just
it was.
A few days ago, and he talked about it a bit in December, and then lots of people from the UK came with him for that. So Reggie Yates, who's a very famous black radio and TV presenter, the big Hollywood actor. Beast of No Nation, the one you like.
The one he went to
Idris Elba
as well. Yeah,
Idris Elba. You know, a few of those guys were here for that. But then there were those who came from America, and they're the ones I was talking about.
So who hosted them? Like, who was?
That's a good question. Now I know that the Ministry of Information was, the Ministry of Tourism was at some point working with them, because they had this big event. The president was there and so forth. But whether they were invited by the Ministry of Tourism, I doubt. I think Bozuma and Boris Kojo and his wife were the ones who organized it from there.
Yeah.
And they all basically, I don't know whether they paid or whether they came for free, but they all basically turned up.
We missed.
Yes.
But the truth was that if you read many of the stories in relation to the visits for many of them, especially from Hollywood, it's got to do with the fact that they trace their ancestry to the West African coast. Some trace it to Ghana. So it was also more like a time for them to come and do some kind of recollection. Try to visit the market.
I met someone at Labadi Beach Hotel yesterday that I couldn't recognize. They had to sing a bit of a song. I can't still even remember his name. So we may probably have seen them, but you know, it doesn't click.
But I've got to say, I mean, I would have loved for our showbiz journalists to educate us on these individuals. You know, do a bit of a thing where you bring up their pictures and tell us some of the movies they've been in or the songs they've sang. You know, even if you can't get to interview them, Get us excited about the fact that they're here, because that is what will boost the tourism.
Did they know they were here?
Well.
They will, see, I tell you, in the coming days, we will see them post pictures
on their
to
own
say that
pages.
they were in Ghana, and we will report on that. Yeah.
Yes. What a pity.
Today's a holiday, by the way.
Yes,
it is.
Today's Constitution Day. Hello.
Yes. We're celebrating the Constitution.
And the Fourth Republic. We have to put
Did you guys just say that? Like, we're celebrating the Constitution?
So what's the
Is
idea?
that a question?
Are we celebrating the fact that we have a Constitution? Because I always thought that a holiday would be to celebrate something about us that is unique to us. I mean, if you go around the globe...
The Constitution is unique.
Yes. No, every democracy has a Constitution. And ours isn't the best.
No.
So it's not the best in the world.
No, wait.
The Ministry of Information
basis would you
had
say
said
ours
consistently
isn't the best?
that the Constitution Day also has an underpinning meaning that in the Fourth Republic we've tried to get onto a certain present or a future, which is supposed to give us a certain dispensation that would enable us to govern ourselves adequately. And it looks like since 1993 we've done tremendously well. Comparatively with those in the sub-region, but also on the continent. And so that's why we're celebrating. I think that's something that we have to mark, because then for young people, it tends to bring their mind home as to what the discussion point should be for them. Also give us a certain retrospect as to where we're coming from and why we're where we are.
Like, we don't know. We need a holiday.
Well, we have history lessons, but we want to bring the issues.
Our Constitution is supposed to be a living, breathing document.
Exactly.
It's supposed to evolve as the character of our nation evolves.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So when we say we are celebrating it, are we celebrating its failure to evolve?
No, you say it doesn't.
It doesn't, because
a number of us will disagree with you.
How many times? First of all,
mm-hmm.
there's been one occasion since the beginning of the Fourth Republic when we attempted to amend our Constitution. One occasion, where several recommendations were made by the people of Ghana about what they wanted to see change in our Constitution. What happened?
We're supposed to have had a white paper.
We raised the famous white paper, didn't we?
Yes. So that was our one attempt to evolve our Constitution.
So that's what you mean by evolving our Constitution.
Yes.
But you've forgotten that there have been several interpretations. I mean, there's been different kind of growth. If
you mean when things are taken to the Supreme Court?
Exactly. That's another way that I see it.
So we get to interpret parts of the Constitution that we haven't. Right.
So not necessarily setting up a commission and making significant changes to aspect of the Constitution as we have it. Yeah. But we've grown in
I get that.
We've grown from there.
I get that.
It's been like the basic document that we have that
I get
kind
that.
of guides
and I mean, the thing is, I don't know what the celebration is. We have a Supreme Court. That is its job. So when people bring aspects of the Constitution where there isn't clarity, they provide clarity, and that's their job. They've been doing that job on a regular basis. I don't know whether that is a credit to the Constitution or to the Supreme Court. So maybe we should have Supreme Court Day, because the Constitution itself hasn't done anything.
I tell you what, I was equally confused.
But you do know,
I was equally
the foundation for our
confused.
democracy currently is the Constitution we have.
Yes, but
the point is, I guess the point is, do we need a holiday to remind us that the current Constitution
maybe we don't need a holiday, but we
became
can
operational in 1990? Like, do we need a holiday to remind us?
That?
So I was equally confused. I decided to go back a bit to look at the memo that accompanied the acts, the changes, the reason today is a holiday. And let me just read a little bit of what I found. Okay, so January 7, 1993 was the day that the 1992 Constitution came into force for the Fourth Republic of Ghana. This was after its approval at a referendum held on April 28, 1992. January 7 is also the day new heads of state are sworn into office. The memo from the Interior Ministry said it was worth setting aside January 7 as Constitutional Day, quotes, to acknowledge our collective efforts as a country in ensuring that the tenets of democracy, the rule of law, and the principles of constitutionalism are upheld, unquote. Do you guys get the reason why it's a holiday now?
Nope.
No.
Oh.
I get it. I get it.
So
that's what I've been saying all over.
No, but the point is, you don't need to bring everything to a halt for us to recognize.
Exactly.
Because we've been living with this constitution. I mean, some of us were born into this constitution.
Yeah. And more so knowing that the constitution is fraught with problems in implementation, as we've lived it since 1993. But I don't think it's wrong for us to celebrate. Do we need a holiday? Maybe that's a question.
Didn't we observe, was it the 25th? I mean, the constitution is how old now? This particular constitution.
That'll be, this year will be, from 1993, it will be around 26 years.
Okay, so when it was 25th, which was last year, significantly we recognized, we talked about it. A lot of things were shared about the Constitution, how it survived and, blah, 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 blah. But apparently we need a holiday.
Yeah. I'm being told that the
USA... But the
USA...
Information Ministry is here, right?
The USA has a Constitution Day.
So
I don't know, very often when we want to justify what we do, we find another...
Wait, but what's the significance of that?
For them...
The fact that the USA has a Constitution Day, what has that got to do with us?
I don't know. That's what I was saying.
Constitution Day
is an American federal observance that recognizes the adoption of the United States Constitution.
This is Ghana.
And those who have become U.S. citizens. It's normally observed on September 7th. So they have added it as a celebration of those who become U.S. citizens, okay? So every year they celebrate it on the 17th of September. But you see, the interesting thing is that the United States has only ever had one constitution. How many have we had? So which one are we celebrating? The latest one?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
The one that has survived. I mean, the one that has clocked over 25 years now.
For me, the big question is this. This constitution has been criticized for giving the president too much power. Okay, too much discretionary power is vested in the president. There are theories about why it is so. Some suggest that it was written that way to protect somebody at that time. Others have other reasons, that they propose. But the idea is that it is a major flaw in accountability, in checks and balances. So, because of our constitution, it is almost impossible to check the president. Okay, and it is a flaw. But the only person who can correct that flaw is, guess who? The president. He would literally have to give up some of his power. And no matter how much a candidate might preach about doing that when they come into power, once they come into power and they realize that this is the easiest and quickest way to get things done, by instructing this and giving a presidential this and executive that, they become disincentivized to actually do what it takes to make our constitution better. I'm not saying we have a terrible constitution, but there is something about it that needs to be improved, to improve the accountability that our leaders have for us.
I think we do agree that there's too much power vested in the executive, led by the president.
Our failure to do that is a blight on this celebration that we are now, instituting.
Is it a celebration or
I don't know.
Observation?
Is it or is it, I mean, what are we doing? Are we mourning the Constitution?
But Professor Kokombas Simpson will be giving the inaugural lecture.
He's a rector of GIMPA.
At the Academy of Arts and Sciences. Taking place.
Maybe he will give us some insight into why today is important.
No, okay, let's go on. I'll pull what he's talking about later this morning.
We may ask him.
All right, let's quickly run through the headlines. The Ghanaian Times has these. Tragedy. Cop commits suicide. Shoots himself with AK-47 rifle. Very sad. Very sad story. Details on page 3. Also, Information Ministry holds Constitution Day public lecture today. Kojo Ponkruma will be here. He will educate us on that. Mixed reactions greet celebration of Constitution Day is another headline. And Chiripone residents flee communal clashes in Togo. Right, now on the back page, two stories. One is a sports story, Kotoko Ashgold draw in J.A. Kufuor Cup match. And construct toilets or face prosecution, Ashma to homeowners. There you go.
Yeah.
You do the... Okay, let's do the Daily Graphic. Let's follow the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Graphic newspaper, front page of the Graphic. Public sector pension issues to be resolved by February, according to the president. Policeman commits suicide. Today is Constitution Day. That's Professor Philip Ebo Bonze Simpson. He will deliver the maiden Constitution Day lecture I've got a topic I'll share. Also, over 5,000 displaced in violence between Kokombas and Chokosis. That story is on page 3 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let's check out what's on the back page now. No winner in J. Kufuor Cup as Ash Gold hold Kotoko 1-1. Center spread. VIP calls for tolerance among religious groups. Reports absentee tutors. That's the University of Education Winneba Vice Chancellor urging students to report absentee tutors. Interesting, it's in the center spread of the paper. So that's it by way of headlines in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Roland?
All right, so let's do the Daily Guide newspaper. Main story, we'll talk about it. But the Daily Guide newspaper says EC Gazette's new regions results. It's all from the voting that took place, the referendum.
27th.
Okay, so we have 2019 will be okay. I don't know whether to take this from the chairman of the MPP as a prophecy or not. But, it says 2019 will be okay.
It's faith, man. Yeah. Just believe.
We've already crossed over, so there's a crossed over prophecy. Right, we have no gay cash for National Cathedral, and cop commits suicide. Very sad incident there for that suicide. Reports Sergeant Emmanuel Lamade there, but main story we seem to have captured to the whole of social media, mainstream media. Drones to take naked women pictures. I'm ready to.
I refuse to read the story. I saw it like. Is this like a real story, or this was one of those?
I read the story. I haven't heard the audio. Listened to the audio.
Websites.
So I'm trying to.
No, I think there's an audio. With it.
I think this is for real.
Yes. I haven't listened to the audio, but I mean I've seen it on a number of sites that you would consider credible.
Oh.
So I mean,
actually, those sites first started reporting it.
Unless she herself, comes out and denies it. And,
Okay, let's dig in. Maybe when we get there, we can talk about what the drones will be used for. Otherwise,
but we all know what the drones will be used for. But I think that.
So we start from here.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about it. I read the story. I don't know how true it is, but we have quotes, and it's been reported by some
This is the National Women's Organizer of the NDC.
And for example, he says that thing can take pictures. So when it passes by your village and your bathroom, it will take pictures. So the men listening to me, those drones can take pictures of your naked wives when they are bathing. And
so she was speaking to who exactly?
She was speaking
Husbands of Naked Wives Association of Ghana.
To women, I think an event organized for constituency women, organized for constituency women organizers by the Eastern Region NDC. It took place in Asamankese in the Eastern on Saturday. It's just that when you read the stories and then the reactions thereof, it doesn't bode well at all. For somebody who has been a minister, you have great experience in politics, at least if not for a very long time.
So what's like the objective of this was to get them to object to the drone supplying.
I think she was doing politics.
Told they would do.
No, she was doing
or
politics.
Was to scare them.
I think she was just speaking. One of the things that the politicians.
I get it, but I'm trying to make sense out of why.
So what does she want them to do?
Exactly. Like what is it supposed to
go and protest or demonstrate against the drones?
To get them to do to scare them.
What is the end game here?
I think she was just taken by the platform.
And that makes it worse. To say something absurd and then there is no point to why you said it.
There's no point, right?
Yes, there's no benefit to you or your audience.
Maybe there is, except that we don't know.
No, there's not. I mean, seriously, it was just one of those campaign things you say.
Like you read the entire story, all the story has been around. So I refuse to read it because I
read it.
I thought like this is unbelievable.
I read it on a couple of news portals.
I thought it was one of those fake.
No, I mean, what could the benefit possibly be of making that?
And I think it's almost 24 hours.
What should people do? Like what? So if this drone thing starts, and God knows why it hasn't started, but if it starts and one is flying over your village, then what? Then you cover yourself. Like what is she? asking them to do.
Okay. Yes. What a friend thinks this day is to do. I mean, this one we don't know, but this one we know. So Prince Charles says, I think the celebration alone helps to create awareness of its content to the ordinary Ghanaian who may know a little about it and its effects. A constitution may have its flaws, but does not stop its celebration. Right. Ayo. Okay, so here's what the rector of GIMPA is speaking on. Constitutionalism in Ghana's Fourth Republic towards functional performance. That's that's the, if you like, the topic, constitutionalism in Ghana's Fourth Republic towards functional performance.
When they say towards, I mean, is it an indication that we don't have functional performance at the moment, so we are aiming towards it? Is that the suggestion?
You know, it's 5 p.m. today at the Ghana Academy of Arts and
I better be there, right? If I have questions.
Well, listen to him.
Unless we can get like a preview.
But I also wanted to add that the UN has, Ghana has marked many international days without marking it as a holiday.
One of the other things I decided to do was to look at the Public Holidays Amendment Bill 2018. Here are your public holidays. New Year's Day, January 1. Constitution Day, January 7. Independence Day, March 6. There's Good Friday, there's Easter Monday, there's Idul Adha Festival, there's Idul Fitr. There's Idul Adha and Idul Fitr. There's Workers' Day, which is May 1. There's Founders Day. No, the Founders Day, August 4, is the new one. And there's Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day, 21st of September. There's Farmers' Day, first Friday in December. There's Christmas Day, of course, 25th. And there's Boxing Day, 26th.
13.
How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
I hope
7,
my
8,
arithmetic
9,
was
10, 11, 12, 13.
Did you say Founders Day at some point?
Yeah.
27 August, right?
Founders, no. Yeah, 4th August.
And Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day is
21st.
21st of August.
September.
Oh,
no, 21st September.
September.
Yeah. Okay, so there's no holiday in February. We've got 2 in January. We've got 1 in March. Well, as for Easter, it depends on,
So which month escaped? You said February.
No, it will be impossible to, you can't tell ahead. It depends. The Easter and then Idul Adha and Idul Fitr. Because, you know, those religious days.
They are based on the movement.
Exactly. There's a holiday in May. There's a holiday in August. There's a holiday in September. From September, you go where? October. There's no holiday in October. There's no holiday in November. But we've got 3 in December.
That's a misnomer. Why don't we have it in February, October?
So what are we really supposed to do today? I think, Roland, you were talking to Kojo Nkrumah.
Yeah.
Ask him what we're supposed to do from morning till 5 p.m. when we settle for the lecture.
Okay.
It's important.
Yeah.
Just you know, celebrate the read the Constitution. That should give you enough time.
Okay, well, Prince Charles says we should know more about the Constitution. So, how many of you actually even have the 1992 Constitution?
I have
start from here. You do?
Yeah.
It's even now on.
Let's ask our team. Please, do you have
on phones now? You can have it on your phone.
Okay.
He's shaking his head, by the way. He's saying no. If I ask our director to show it, it will take some time. Yeah. But yes, he's shaking his head.
So we'll ask the information minister if owning the Constitution is one of the things they want people to do on this day.
Where can we buy
the
it?
Constitution.
You can
Assembly
go to
Press. Or anywhere else.
I think in the bookstores. They mainly print it.
I hear that Fred Potiphar is speaking to you in your ears. Ask him if he's got the Constitution.
Fred, do you have the Constitution?
Fred says he has it on his phone.
Okay.
It's easier to download.
Yeah. All right, let's do some more stories. This is from the Daily Graphic newspaper, page 16. It's not a story that you're hoping to wake up to hear, but it says a 44-year-old policeman, Sergeant Emmanuel Amade, has allegedly shot himself dead at the Nungwa Police Barracks. The policeman, with service number, they give details of that, was attached to the Special Weapons and Tactics Units of the Accra Regional Police Command. That's the SWAT team. He's said to have used an AK-47 rifle to shoot himself in the throat in his room at the barracks around 2:30 a.m. yesterday. The Daily Graphic gathered that before shooting himself, Sergeant Amada woke up from sleep and ordered his wife and their 2 children to leave the room, otherwise he would kill them. And according to police source, his wife rushed out with the children to seek help. Although the cry for help by the wife drew the attention of some neighbors, mostly policemen and women at the barracks, before help could come, Sergeant Amada had committed suicide. So there's a lot more. There's a confirmation coming from the Regional Police Command, all those details in this.
It's really sad. I'm sure in the coming days we might learn a bit more about
why he did it.
But it's just a tragedy, just a horrible tragedy. You have to feel for the wife and children, you know. And I'll bet you that for him, this is probably an end to some suffering, whatever he was facing that he felt he couldn't face any longer. This ends it for him, but not for his family, not for the people around him who care about him. And that is the real cost of suicide, you know. So if you really care about others,
don't do it. Just don't do it.
But it brings into a greater picture what we keep saying all the time. I think each year there's always a discussion we have, not only on suicide, but also the current state of our mental health care. Because there are many people who are going through sufferings, psychologically, physiologically, for which they will need some help, either for psychotic reasons. And the health infrastructure we have in our country is even not enough for regular health care. And so it's even more porous for mental health care. And it's a concern for many people, because people think that once you have a good life, or perhaps you have a good livelihood, or you feel that you are in a better state in society, it means that you don't need mental health care, so to speak. But in the more developed economies, they tend to place that at the top premium, because there's a lot of stress in our environment.
Indeed.
And that stress means that people definitely will have some psychotic problems.
I mean, psychotic might not be the right term, because a psychotic is a particular state of mental illness which is quite extreme, and it involves, you know, a lack of empathy and, you know, an ability to cause harm to others. But sometimes it's just, like you said, stress. You know, it's just emotional problems that you need to be able to talk to someone about, and mental health care is the way to resolve that. You know,
the challenge is that sometimes it's almost impossible to find someone that you think you could talk to.
You see, even before you get to that decision where you've decided, I want to talk to someone, and then you have the problem of not finding someone, like you said, before you even get to that I want to talk to someone stage, you have to battle the stigma that comes with mental illness. You know, people see it as such an embarrassing thing. You know, for us in our local language, there aren't many. There isn't a correct translation for someone who has emotional problems, someone who's depressed, you know, someone who's suffering from stress. No, all we say is wabodam. That's the only term we have to describe any mental condition. So it comes with stigma, you know, and people don't want to be associated with it. So they suffer in silence until, unfortunately, in some cases, it's too late.
Well, listen, you know, just to say that if you're thinking of doing anything to yourself right now, even as we discuss this, can you just wait just a second and think about the people around you, the people that you'll be leaving behind? Just think about the people you'll be leaving behind.
And you know, look, somebody said something, I'm so sorry, the last thing on this. Somebody said something I thought really rings true, that people who feel the weight of emotional problems to the point where they want to end their lives, people like that are sensitive. They care. That's why they feel so much. Now, if you care, that means right now, when we tell you to think about the people around you, it means something to you. You care. You care about these people. Sometimes you think you're ending your life to solve problems for them too, but it's never the case. It will be the beginning of problems for them if you take such a drastic step. So no. As long as there's life, there is hope. So let that not be an option for you at all, ever.
Okay, there's more news on myjoyonline.com. We've taken a lot of time already, so we'll leave it to check it out. We'll bring you some sports right up to this, and then the Information Minister, Kojo Oponkroma, as our guests on the AM show. 1st July is not a Republic Day. It's been scrapped. So we'll ask him a lot of questions about the Constitution. Roland, make sure you ask him, what are we supposed to do from 6 a.m. to 4:30?
But on Christmas Day, do they prescribe what you're supposed to do?
Oh, Christmas is it's a religious, you know. So
nobody should.
So government doesn't tell us what to do.
We don't know what
government doesn't tell us.
Do they tell you?
Government doesn't tell us.
How about Farmers Day?
We know the history of that. Yeah, we know the history of that.
But you don't know the history of your Constitution.
No, the Constitution Day.
We're taking a break. When we come back, more sports.